Hi, I'm Nate, and this is Under the Radar, where we reveal off-camera observations of authentic athletes. Today, we'll look at the story of Shakopee Sr. and St. Thomas commit Kacie Claessens. The main thing is her faith and her people and how she used both to get through the crazy turn of events that went down in Chicago, all starting with a DQ in the 60-meter hurdles. We'll also continue with how she found her place as a 7th grader in varsity at Shakopee and a runner at TopSelf, which is the track club that she trains with. Enjoy. This is the third one. This is the third one I've done in 2 days. So,
oh, really? Who else have you done so far?
Remember the girl that I was interviewing at the meet? Remember Ellie Barrett?
I don't know.
Yeah, so she won Nike Outdoor Nationals last year, and she just pulled up to the meet in Chicago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. That was my reaction too. I was like, wait, oh yeah. She's gonna hang out, yeah. And I kind of just like gave her like a dap up and just started and it was like, all right.
Right.
She also was in the same heat as Josie was too, which is kind of funny.
Oh, sick.
And I have a photo of them like dapping each other up. So
crossover moment. Nice. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Josie has some celebrity, and they follow each other now too, which is super funny.
Oh, sick. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like I would also feel like a celebrity. Hello? Like, gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Nike National winner follows me on Instagram.
Imagine how I feel. I had a flipping like 60-minute conversation with her.
Seriously, like, that too. Oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
I'm like, well, how did we do that? And she didn't hate me after talking to me for an hour. It's great.
Right,
it's incredible. We're doing good. Anyways, what got you into joining track?
Oh gosh. Probably my mom. My mom was a big track influencer and runner when she was growing up in high school. She ran at Egan and like was a part of like the records there with like triple jump and like the relays, and she was very active in all that. And so from a young age, like right off the bat, like in kindergarten, I was a part of like the play, prior like track program through kindergarten through 5th grade. And then 6th grade was when COVID hit for me. And then 7th grade until now, I was a part of Shakopee track and field and on the varsity team. So this will be year 6 on varsity for me.
Oh my word. Yeah. It's insane. You know, that kind of throws me off a little bit, which is great because then I get to ask more questions. When you were in like the just the early stage of track, so you must have kindergarten, you said? How did the coaches back then kind of make track fun for you back then that actually made you want to run and not just try to run for some crazy time?
So I had a lot of friends, and then their parents were the coaches because it was just like a kind of little like small little youth organization. And so just like being able to like knowing the parents already and knowing all my teammates already makes it very easy to like have fun because I'm just like hanging out with my friends and running around and passing a baton back and forth and throwing a metal ball in the air and jumping in a sand pit. So it was just like, and they all always obviously like we're just little kids.
So when you joined like the high school team kind of in 7th grade, I think, who was someone that made you really feel welcome when you were so young and doing so well?
At the time, it was definitely my coach, Shakopee. He, unfortunately, I only got him as a coach for my middle school year, so only for 2 years, my 7th and 8th grade season. But right off the bat, I had just like joined track, and at the time, like you could just be a 7th grader and join the track team. Like there wasn't any like qualification marks that you had to hit or anything like that. And so I came in and was just chilling. I was a long jumper at the time, did some hurdles, ran a pretty good 100 meter, and I vividly remember at this Farmington meet, I ran like a 13.5 as a 7th grader, which I mean, obviously there's, girls senior year running like 12s, but like as a 7th grader, a 13.5 is pretty darn impressive, I'd say. Yeah. So I remember running that race and I like went back up to like long jump. And the head coach comes up to me, Shakopee comes up to me, and he was like, "Are you Kacie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, you ran a really like he's like, you ran a really good race today. And I was like, oh, like, thank you so much. And at the time, like as a seventh grader, I don't really know what like a good 100 time was. Like I didn't know what a varsity mark was or what a bad mark was. I just kind of ran. I just kind of ran to ran. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of put my energy out there and just YOLO'd it without like having any like background on like what blocks were or anything like that. And so he was like, yeah, you ran like a really good time. Like you might be our, like one of our top varsity runners. And I was like, seriously? He was like, yeah, like I might want to put you on that like on that 4x1 relay. And I was like, oh, like that's crazy. And so he was like, yeah, we'll talk more later. So obviously little old, how old was I at the time? Like 13-year-old me. I'm like, holy crap. Like I just got noticed by like a celebrity. Like my head coach noticed me. Like this is crazy. Like like I'm just a little seventh grader. Like this isn't real. And I remember
that's awesome.
At like a Lakeville North. We were at like Lakeville North, I think, one of the Lakevilles, and I wasn't a part of the relay yet. But the starter had like hurt her hammy long jumping, and I remember one of my other long jumper friends, she ran up to me and she was like, Kacie, like, I just told the coach to put you in the 4x1 because like of all your really good times. And he remembers you from like the Farmington meet. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And so comes running over is like the 3 other girls for the varsity 4x1 and Shakopee. And they all come running over and they're like, Kacie, like, we need you really, really quick. Like, just take this baton, hand it off to Michaela. We'll see how it goes. We'll guess the steps and we're just gonna run. And I was like, at the time, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this tennis ball. I don't know what to do with this baton. How do I hold the baton in the blocks? I don't know what I'm doing. And so literally I just like YOLO'd the race and we run the race. I'm the starter, so I'm in the blocks and I just hand off the baton to the second leg. And we the 4x1 ended up PRing in that race that we ran. And that's when it was kind of like it hit me. And Shakopee was like, Kacie, like you have so much potential. Like even as a seventh grader, like you're so strong and you just fit. And mind you, the order of the relay was seventh grader, 12th grader, 12th grader, 12th grader.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And so I'm just here. I'm just here running. I'm just having a good time. And he was like, you have like so much ahead of you and you just fit in with this relay like so well. And he just like as a seventh grader, like that just like makes you like have like so much more like such a more like positive, like in-depth attitude about the sport because like you started off doing it for fun, but now since like you're actually getting noticed, like, and since the coach is like actually like pushing you and like celebrating you, that's like kind of when you're like, oh crap, I need to lock in now because I'm actually good at the sport. So yeah, my Shakopee, my coach for the first 2 years has definitely kind of like planted the seed in me to like be like the best athlete I am today. So yeah, that was a very long answer.
No, great. That's good length. What are some, especially when we get to that later part.
Right.
Foreshadowing. What are some other highlights from your middle school career in track?
Oh, I don't know. Probably when, again, seventh grade year, I can't remember what section we were in before to AAA, but we were in a different section and the girls' side won sections. And just being like, I was at the section meet, I was running hurdles, I was doing long jump, and I was a part of the 4x1 and having like 3 events at sections is crazy as a seventh grader. Like I just
seventh grader. Yeah.
Like there's like I was in the magazine, like I remember like I'm in the magazine. There's like seventh grader Kacie Claessens with 12th grade senior Michaela, whatever. I can't remember her last name. Michaela, Natalie.
Time out. What was the height difference between you and the seniors?
It actually wasn't that bad.
No, I don't think it's that bad. That's why I wanted to ask.
That's why like I blended in. But
that's awesome.
It was pre brace face Kacie, so I had a fat like gap in the middle of my teeth. So like I have a post on my Instagram of like me as a little seventh grader, and it's just like stick figure. Like you can tell I was probably younger, but definitely winning sections my seventh grade year also was just like eye-opening, being like, holy crap, like this is so fun. Like going to sections, being with this team and like having all these friends to like support you when you're so young is just like, it's great. It's so fun. Track is such a fun sport. I love it.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, what was the transition like for high school then when you were going from seventh grade to high school, or eighth grade into second grade high school?
Yeah. I think definitely still as like a freshman, sophomore, being like an underclassman, it was a little, I had to learn to like hold my tongue and make sure I was like staying humble. Cause even though I felt like coming in, like I was a ninth grader and there was like people joining their junior year who had like no experience. And so I wanted to like boast about being like, yeah, like I have more experience than you. And cause I'm a freshman, like I needed to like humble myself a little bit because like, yeah, I was on varsity seventh and eighth grade year, but that doesn't give me the right to like boast about it because I want to be like that supportive person like people were for me. You know what I mean? Because like I had those supporters so young, but now even though I'm young, I can still support other people as well. So like I kind of had to learn to like hold my tongue, stay humble, and just like even though like maybe even if I did have more experience than somebody else, just to make sure like just like take a step back, like live in the moment. Don't get too ahead of myself. Like I just needed to like relax a little bit.
Totally get that for sure. Especially, I mean, how often do you see that in high school running where you have seventh grader that ran sections and coming in freshman year already ran for 2 years? It's like, it's a different kind of, it's not common. Yeah. So a little bit of a sidetrack, but what got you into making your FCA chapter in freshman year of high school?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So one of my best friends, his name is Devin. I just remember like I used to hung out with him all the time. He was the age of my sister. So when I was a freshman, he was a junior. And so we were just kind of like talking all the time. Like we both went to church and whatnot. And I just remember Haskins, my track coach, reaching out to us. And he had sent us like an email and he was like, hey guys, like there's like this club that I've been seeing around like other schools called FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Like, and I think you two would be like a great fit for this club, like leading this club and like starting it up. Like, is this something you guys are interested in? Yada, yada, yada. And I was just like immediately, like, I remember immediately like texting them and being like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like, I want to do this so bad. Like, I would like be like a founder basically. Cause like, I like,
resume
like
stuff.
I was like the first, like Haskins asked me to like start the club. Like, that's crazy. And so, immediately we had to do like I remember like Devin, Haskins, and I all like went to this like leadership, like I don't want to call it like a camp, but like just kind of like I don't know what to call it, like sure camp. We went to this like leadership camp one night, and like we went and there was like FCA leaders from like all across different like clubs from like Andover, Anoka, like Prior Lake, Farmington. And just like all around Minnesota, like we all came together and like there was like pastors speaking. They had like D1 athletes come in and like former like college, like NFL people come in like and speak about like being a part of like FCA when they were in high school. And then like we got dinner and then we just got to meet a bunch of other people that were FCA leaders. And obviously like as a ninth grader, like a lot of these people are like juniors and seniors. And so I was just like, it was such like again, like planting that seed in someone so young just to like help them to help me like grow to like the leader that I am today. Like I just learned like so much from like starting a club as a ninth grader and learning every single year and bringing in more leaders, like and new leaders, like over and over again. Like it was just like, so like,
you kind of training them and mentoring
like,
them too. Yeah.
Right. And so it was just like so awesome to just like not only see growth in myself, but like growth in like the other people, like and the other leaders as well. And even like in Haskins as well, like from like how he was when he first started the club with me, to seeing how he is like now, like doing all these like discipleship, like leadership things and like doing all these things through our school. Like, it's just so cool. Like, I just am very happy that we started the club and I'm really excited to see how it grows, like when I graduate and see like how like everyone else handles it. So I love FCA. Shout out FCA. It's so awesome.
FCA. Cool. So first time making it to state as a freshman, what was that like and how did you handle that pressure?
Oh my gosh. It was crazy because I knew I wasn't going to make it for hurdles because we had like Claire Kohler and Ruby from Minnetonka. And I was like, I'm just gonna like, they're the goats right now. They're great. I'm not gonna make it for my hurdle race, and that's okay. But I was like, our 4x1 is like cooking, because my ninth grade year, they almost switched me out of like the starting of the first leg. And I was like, because we, at that time, we had a new coach, a new sprints coach. And so I was trying to convince him, like, hey, like, I'm the starter. Like, this is how it should like go. Like, I've been the starter since 7th grade. We always do great. Like, don't switch me out of this position. And I finally convinced the coach to switch me back to the starting leg, because he switched me and this one girl and moved me to the third leg, which was fine. Third leg's great, but like out of the blocks is just like, it's something else. And so for conference, he finally decided to switch me back into the first leg. And there was like a huge time difference. And that's when it was kind of like, oh crap, like this is what we should have been doing all along. And so luckily sections, it was like in time for sections, to where we like had perfected our handoffs. We had a great, like, I was the starter, then I handed it off to Haley. And we kind of like formed it to where Haley, she was a really good 200 runner as well, that she kind of ran the straightaway and then a little bit into the curve of the third leg. And we like had her running a little over 100 meters, like whatever. And so out of the blocks, sections at Eden Prairie, out of the blocks, I'm zooming. We're cooking the curve, right? And then Lily's running the third leg, handed off to Sammy. And Sammy is just she was so good at being the anchor. And I remember we were like 4th. By the time we handed the baton off, we were like 4th. And Sammy is just like booking it down the runway. And at like the last second, she like gets us into 2nd place, and top 2 go to state. And so we get 2nd place. And it was just like so crazy, because that was also the first year that Shakopee wasn't coaching. And so immediately after we made it to state, we called him, and we were like, Shakopee, like, we made it to state. And like Shakopee starts crying on the phone. He's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so proud of you guys. Like, I'm sorry I can't be there. Oh, it was so emotional. It was so awesome. And then state didn't go that well. We kind of got a little bit baton mix up. But for me, it was really great, because as a freshman, I started the race, and gun goes off, and I get us into 1st in our heat. And on the announcements, the guy's like, going into the first handoff, we have Kacie Claessens from Shakopee in 1st place. And I'm like, let's go. Like in the video, like of the relay, like you hear it in the background. It was so cool. And then unfortunately at the end, we kind of butchered our handoff and we didn't make it to finals, but the experience was awesome. And just being like that group of girls that I was with my freshman year with that relay, we were so tight knit, we were so close, and we just all loved each other. It was so fun. So even though we like butchered our handoff and didn't perform well at state, like the experience was just what really mattered. So it was like really fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
What was the experience your sophomore year, the lead up if the hurdles up into sections? What was that like? The 3 sections.
I was definitely, obviously, again, like I was super excited, but I knew, again, going into it, we had Claire Kohler still here, and we had like a bunch of other like really good hurdlers. And so the sections race that I ran to get to state my sophomore year was top 3, one of the best races of my life. Like you took a picture of like me and Anna.
Oh, was I
like
there?
at the finish line. Yeah, like
wait, was that the one that was raining? Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was pouring rain. It was.
Oh gosh,
my stuff was drenched. It was so funny. But the sections race that got me into state was definitely one to remember. Like that was like, again, top like 3 races of my life. I performed okay at state that year. I think top 8 go to finals for state. And I think I had gotten like 9th. So I was like happy with how I performed, but obviously it was kind of like Debbie Downer. I was like 1 place away from going to finals, like shucks. But again, like the experience was there. Like I had a lot of fun being able to actually run like a solo race as a sophomore. Definitely like put some confidence under my belt and just like reminded me what I'm capable of, and like I can do it again. Like, so yeah. And then I did the relay as well my senior year, and that was really fun too. So Yeah.
So I like how your attitude's very positive, like coming off of something that would normally really piss somebody off, like missing state finals by one spot. It's like, cool, I
Right.
know to still take away so many positive from it.
Thanks. Yeah.
After you go through your junior year and you're going through the summer and you kind of notice, like I'm guessing you notice like TopSelf and like what they're kind of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you
Yeah.
see all this stuff that's going on, going down there, and it's like, so what are some things that you kind of saw like at a distance from the team, and like what are some people or some just moments from that summer season that really stood out to you?
So for the summer, Roy had reached out to me to be a part of like the summer training, but unfortunately I was just really busy, like because track ends in like the start of June. I kind of have the rest of June to like reset, but then once July came around, I had to start volleyball, like pre-season volleyball stuff. So unfortunately, I didn't really have time to train with TopSelf in the summer. I still followed TopSelf and seeing all like the updates on like Emma, Lulu, Vanessa, and like Rose, like seeing them have like the 4x4 like record, and like seeing that, I was like, wow, like this is legit. Like this isn't something to like joke around about. Like this is for real. And so by like the end of ish summer, Roy and I finally found a time to like actually meet each other and like get a practice under our belts. And so obviously I was a little rusty. So I was like, I'm a little nervous. Hopefully he doesn't think I suck. So we like went to like Edina Middle School or something to like their track.
Nice.
And we had like a one-on-one practice. And I was honestly so nervous. I was like, okay, like this is like, he's a for real coach. Like he like knows what he's talking about. Like this is like I'm about to get some really good coaching that I probably won't ever be able to get ever again. And so at that practice, we just did like some hurdle stuff. He just like went through the basics with me of like running, and we did some like mini wickets and hurdle starts and all this stuff. And he was like, yeah, I see a lot of potential in you. Like, I hope that you're able to join our team like this fall. And I was like, yeah, like I totally would. Like, I would love to do that. But then again, unfortunately, volleyball took up a lot of my time in the fall. And so I couldn't join his fall training program that he had. And so right when volleyball ended, I was like, Dad, Mom, like I want to join this club. Like I want to do this indoor season. Like, please, like since I'm not doing volleyball, can I please do this club? And I finally got to join. And like I roped Sammy into it as well. I was like, Sammy, like if you do it, I'll do it. It'll be so much more fun if I have somebody I know. So Sammy and I both signed up for TopSelf, and unfortunately Sammy couldn't pursue like the whole entirety of the season because of an injury, but I'm still like obviously doing it now currently. Like I just had practice today, but it was definitely like it was a long process, and I was a little nervous that I wouldn't have like the outcome I wanted, but it was definitely worth it. Like I am very happy with like everything that like I've gotten to do with the club. So 10 out of 10 would recommend TopSelf training.
Also would too. Not biased.
Not biased at all, guys.
If you guys don't know, I work content for them, so I just haven't known.
He is in fact our photographer and videographer.
I do in fact do a bunch of stuff with that. Like it's funny because I hang out with you guys more than I hang out with like my college friends sometimes.
Right.
Like I'll go like a week without seeing like my friends from church, and then I'll like see you guys like twice a week sometimes. And It's like, well, I guess,
you guys are my new
especially
friends.
over a break. Anyways,
I was really excited because Roy was like, I hired this one coach, and he was a multi. And I recruited, I scouted him and hired him like just for you so that you can do some multi meets. And I was like, let's go. Like, this is going to brew. Little did I know what that coach like become like my new best friend. Like what? That was also really surprising, was like how all the coaches are just like so great. But I was definitely really excited for Chicago. No foreshadowing there. I was definitely excited for Chicago. And then I knew it wasn't on the schedule for sure, but the Mark Shuck meet, Roy and I had talked about it previously before like the season even started, because we knew there was going to be a multi there. And so we knew for sure that was going to be a meet that I was going to go to. But man, like Chicago, I was so super excited for that race.
So before Chicago, like what were like some of the meets that you ran before and how did they go? Just the run up.
Okay, so I mean, I ran at the first USATF meet and I ran my first 60 hurdle race and ran like a 9.3. And obviously it was like, I didn't really know what a good 60 hurdle time was, but I was like the best on the team. And so I was like, oh, this is good. Like, this is great. Like a nice little like foundation for like my times for the year. Right.
Yeah.
I did shot put that meet too and threw a PR. I was like, let's go. PR, first throw of the season. And then I ended up high jumping too. And for the first time in my life, I no heighted. But that was only because my coach thought that they were going to pass and come back to me for my opening height because I was shot putting. And so I couldn't go back and forth and back and forth. So I finished my shot puts, went over to high jump thinking that they were going to go back down to my opening height. And they were like, nope, just kidding. You actually have to just open. Like I had
you have to open
coming
higher.
in. I was like, I had planned on coming in at like 4 and the bar was at like 4.9. And I was like, all right, we'll just YOLO. And I did not clear height. And so that was a little embarrassing, but it's okay. I just brought that up to my coach like the other day. He was like, you're going to hate me, but I've never no heighted ever in my life in like high jump. And I was like, yeah, me neither. And he was like, that's a lie. And I was like, cause I had forgotten about it. And I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, you're right. First meet of the season, I no heighted. And he was like, yeah. And then you cried. And then I didn't know what to do because I didn't know you that well at the time. And I was like, that's okay. That's not your fault. But yeah, the USATF meet. And then I was in New York for like a week. And then I came back literally like no practice for a week. Came down like with my plane literally landed. Roy called me and he was like, why weren't you at practice today? Because he thought I was already home. The plane just landed. He calls me. He's like, why weren't you at practice today? And I was like, I'm on a plane right now. My flight just landed. He was like, and you're competing tomorrow? And I was like, yeah. And so I come in and I come to the meet the next day. Finally get a high jump height. I got like 4.9. It's fine. PR's 5 foot. We're getting there. Ran a hurdle race and I ran like a 9.35, 0.05 away from my PR. So I was like, for not practicing for a week and coming off a plane yesterday, I'll take it. And then I think I ran a 200 that day as well. I don't really remember, but I think my 200 went okay. And then did I run anything else before Chicago? I don't think so. I think it was just the 2 USATF meets and then Chicago. And so I had some hurdle races under my belt and then practices. We did a lot of like trial runs. Like we did a lot of like race pace, race height, race length, not really anything like drills or anything like that because he really wanted us to be like locked in for Chicago. I did a lot of like, I knew I was going to be doing high jump at Chicago as well. And so I was doing a lot of stuff with Ian. I think we just wanted to try out long jump because I hadn't done long jump yet. And long jump is a part of the pentathlon. And so they just wanted me to like get some long jumps under my belt, get a nice little base for where I'm at, like lengthwise, approach form wise and whatnot. And so we kind of just already had that planned out. They were like, you're pretty consistent at shot put. You just throw a metal ball in the air. You're strong enough to do that. You don't need, and we don't want you to have 4 events in Chicago. That's too much. And I was like, okay, that's perfect with me. Hurdles, high jump, long jump for Chicago, or set. And so that was just kind of like my basis, the meets before Chicago.
So before we dive in, I need to talk about something very, very important.
Okay.
What does trusting God look like in your athletics?
FCA has honestly really helped me a lot, especially because it's, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. But I think also we welcome in people who like aren't in athletics as well, because, everyone is welcome in the realm of God and Christianity. Like everyone is welcome. So we don't we don't really want to just like condense it down to just athletes. You know what I mean? But trusting God with my athletics is just like making sure that I'm not idolizing it. And so sometimes I think, especially when I was younger, going back to like when I was in middle school, like because I got like good so fast, it like I needed to like hold myself accountable in a way, and just making sure like I can't idolize this thing and put it before God. Like I know exactly. I might want to train every day instead of doing my devotions. I might want to skip youth to practice more, skip Sunday service to go weightlift or whatever. But I needed to just like take a step back and just make sure like God gave me like, how did I get these abilities? God gave me these abilities. Like, he is the reason that I am as athletic as I am and as healthy as I am and all these things. And so just reminding myself that I am rooted through God. I am not rooted through my sport. God gave me these abilities, and just like, if something doesn't go my way, it's for a reason. Like, it's not because I'm not good enough. It's not because I'm not athletic enough. Like, one bad race isn't going to define like the rest of my career. So I think God, like, I feel like I truly believe like God like gives us sports to like teach us the highs and the lows of life, to make sure we're not idolizing it, to make sure like he can take us out of that sport. Like he like maybe God gave us that injury on purpose. Like maybe God gave you that injury as like a wake up call. Like, hey, like, you're idolizing this. Don't do that. Otherwise, like, you know what I mean? Like, like not karma, but like, I don't know. I feel like like the highs and the lows of the sport really like test your relationship with God. Cause like, if you truly trust him and you truly like have full faith in him, you know that this injury means nothing. Maybe like you know that this injury is just gonna like help you bounce back better. You know what I mean? And
stepping stone to, yeah.
Like, yes, I'm super, super good at this sport, but that doesn't mean I did all the work myself. Like, I also like God was there guiding me the whole entire time. And so just reminding myself that I'm not rooted through my sport. I'm rooted through God, because God gave me these abilities to be this athletic, and he put me in this position, and he made me a captain. He made me an FCA leader of athletic, like Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club. He put me there to pursue others. Like, he put me in sport to spread the word of God as well, just to like be a disciple and disciple unto other people and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
What does that look like in FCA, and how have you used like your own personal athletic story so far to, inspire others within that?
I just was talking to someone about this actually, because a girl had reached out to me and she was like, I want to be an FCA leader next year. Like, what are some tips and tricks? And so something I told her was like, I like to make, like, as an FCA leader, sometimes I like to make like we choose a verse, like for like all of our club meetings, like a leader will choose a verse and read it out, and we'll do like a little devotion. And so I was like, I like to make my devotions that I choose like relevant to what's like kind of going on right now. I noticed that there's a lot of people that were injured that were coming to FCA. And I was like, all right, so I see these injuries. I've been there before. Like, I've been in the mental struggle of having an injury and being taken out of my sport and like going through the mental stuff and whatnot. And so I was like, I'm going to choose a verse that like is like rooted around like being mentally tough and just trusting God's plan. And so that's like that's what I would do. Is so I would like read my Bible or like do research, be like, what is a good verse that I can bring to FCA on Thursday? And hopefully this can connect to like more than one person. Cause I don't want to like choose a verse. Like, I don't want to choose my favorite verse because I like it. Like, I want it to be able to like be relevant to other people as well. And so when I noticed that there was like a lot of people with injuries, or like when we talked about prayer requests, like a lot of people would say like, oh, like I've been struggling with this injury and I know like a lot of my teammates are as well, yada, yada, yada. And so making my verses like relevant to not only myself, because I know that like that can happen sometimes where we're just like, oh, I really like this verse because I like it, or it's like relevant to me. And then it's like no one else like really understands it, or it's not like relevant to them. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's just something like I like to make sure like everyone is included like with what's like going on, I guess. I don't know.
All right, here we go. So, okay. The day before, I remember this because I was there. Everybody was just absolutely just overwhelmed with nerves. Like, not everybody, but a large amount of people. This is like, let's like put this in context. We're from Minnesota.
Right.
Chicago is 400. I don't. I'm gonna
a lot of miles
guess.
away.
I'm gonna not guess how long, because I tried to do temperature conversions with some German exchange students in my head. I missed it by like 20 degrees, so we're not gonna guess today. It's 350 miles away according to Google Maps.
Okay, love it.
And that's a big opportunity for like, obviously everybody, but there's some like 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, people that are just going out of in just early high school and like trying to run this meet in Chicago for the biggest meet of their life at this point. Right. So they're nervous. How do you figure it out? Like, how do you handle those like pre-nerves during that competition and like, just stay locked?
It really depends on how I'm feeling. But I was surrounded by a lot of girls that all had like, luckily, like had like very similar beliefs. And so like I was surrounded by a lot of like Christian girls that all loved each other and were all super open. And so I remember the night before, even though we had to wake up super early, we all like a bunch of like, not the whole team, but like a lot of the girls came in and we all met in a hotel room. And we started like playing games. We were getting like kind of like getting out the jitters. At least that's what it felt like for me. Like we were getting out of the jitters. We were just like laughing, having fun. And then I remember by the end of the night, like we just got into like deep conversation about like, what are like your goals for tomorrow? Like, what are your hopes? And so we kind of just had like that community moment where we were all just like getting really deep about like some goals that we have. Like some girls got into like, like I just got out of an injury, so I'm not going to be super hard on myself, but this is like my goal that I have for myself. Or some people are like, I ran a really, really, really good race. And so I'm just hoping that I can stay consistent this race. Like this, like, even though it's a big, this might not be my breakthrough meet. I'm just trying to stay consistent. Or like, there was some girls that were like, I'm just here to have fun. Like this is an opportunity. I know I might not be one of the top best on my team. Like, so I'm just trying to be here to have fun. You know what I mean? And so just seeing like all the different perspectives that different girls had, it definitely calmed my nerves, because I was like, I don't want to hold this super high expectation for myself when not everyone else is. Like everyone, like some, like, again, some girls are just here to have fun. And so that like really calmed me down, being like, okay, like this is like, obviously it's a really big opportunity. We're at a really fancy track with a lot of really like really, really good athletes. But at the end of the day, like, again, like God gives us sports to have fun and just pursue him and just like use the abilities he gave us. So like I wasn't seeing like all the girls and all their perspectives and just laughing about it and having like that community. It just really like, and especially it being the night before, and I had a really like bad, we had pre-meet. I had a really bad pre-meet, and I had like kind of like jinked up my calf, and I was like really nervous because I was like, my calf was like really hurting. Like I've never had this like happen to me before.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I was really nervous that it was just like going to get in the way and I was going to have a horrible meet. And so like that definitely like calmed me down and just like washed me clean, I guess, in a way. So that was really nice.
Yeah. Who are some people that really helped you?
Definitely like Emma. I don't know how to say her last name. Someone said it was Kwan, but it's like Cavant. And so Emma, Emma. So Emma for sure helped me a lot. Favor is a really, really, really good person. She always is like, she's always texting me and she's always like, love you. Like, you're so good. Like she, like at practice today, I was practicing shop and she was like, oh my gosh, there's my multi-baddie. And I was like, I love you. Like, you're so nice. So like Emma, Favor, like those two are really awesome. Lexi, she's just like a radiant beam of joy and happiness. She's so sweet. Just like her walking into a room is just like, she just lights it up and is just so funny. Abby too. Why am I blanking on her last name? From Rosemount?
Essler.
Yes, yeah. Abby Essler too. We had like literally like the practice before, like we had like I had made her laugh her butt off by like some joke I made about like T-Mobile socks, and so like we just like constantly bringing up T-Mobile socks. It was literally just our like comic relief. Like if something was tense, I would just bring up the T-Mobile socks, and immediately we were just like laughing so hard. So like finding people that like you can just like be serious with, be like yourself around, and just like have like that comic relief is just like peak. Like so like those girls are they're all great. There's not one bad person in TopSelf. They're all so nice.
I will be bringing up T-Mobile socks if I see all of them.
T-Mobile socks, let's go.
We'll be bringing that back. That'll be good.
Yes.
Awesome. So okay, here we go. So now you're getting there. Oh no, right? Oh no. What's the warm up like? Just seeing everything.
All right. And so I'm gonna like relive the dream. Okay. So I get there. I had to get there at the butt crack of dawn because I'm a hurdler. Hurdling is one of the first events. That's the only negative of being a hurdler, is you're always the person who's there the earliest. And so I remember it was like me, NC, Claire, Addie going. We couldn't really do our warm-up lap because, there was a bunch of stuff going on. So we had like the little backstretch area. It was very condensed. So we were all very like close together. It was very congested. And so we always do like our like static warm-up. So like we do like our good mornings, our RDLs, our squats, and like glute and hammy activation, stuff like that. And then we do our dynamic like lunges and whatnot. And then we didn't have enough hurdles to do like our proper like solo hurdle warm-up. So we just stretched straight into our like single step drills, triple step drills, and just like a little bit like of hurdle mobility, obviously, because we're about to do hurdles. And then once we're done with that, we didn't have room again to like do run throughs, go over a hurdle. And then until like we finished our warm up, and then we had to like wait for like 10-ish minutes before we could actually go into like the middle of the track. Because then we went to the middle of the track and did a little bit of more warm up, and then did a couple of block starts, and then we had to go back around to the back of the track to get like hip numbers and then like check in, and like then they walked us out to the track. So that was just kind of where I was at. I always make sure I do a little bit of like I don't know if you know like box breathing, like making sure I like can get in the zone.
Very
like,
familiar with
breathing.
that. Yes, very familiar.
I just learned what this thing is. It's called your psychological breath. And so it's like you take a little breath in, and then you like finish it off, and then you just push it all out. So like I did a couple of those. Like I just did it to do it because it helped me catch my breath. But little did I know, I just learned in like my sports med class that that's like a real thing. And so I do like box breathing, my psychological breaths, and then just like saying prayers, like just like giving my like devoting this race to God and whatnot. I listen to like my worship music. I'm not like I listen to hype music and like hip hop and like a little bit of rap, but like pre-meet, sometimes the sad tunes and like the sad worship tunes hit the spot. Underrated hype music, guys. Underrated pre-meet.
What's on your worship playlist?
Let me whip it out for you, because I would say that my worship playlist is pretty peak. I have a lot of River Valley songs because, I'm a fellow River Valley church gal. And so gotta love my River Valley gang. The Joy by The Belonging, like the joy of the Lord, the joy of the Lord. Love that song. Anything by SEU Worship and Elevation. Something that I had on the repeat in Chicago specifically was What a God by SEU Worship.
Oh my gosh.
Because that song, I literally ascend to heaven, say hi to Jesus, and come back down. Like, I swear, like, that song just hits every single time. And so I'm pretty sure I had that song.
How you feel before that.
It doesn't matter if you're happy, if you're sad or mad. It's just peak. Okay, the bridge, if the highest place I reach is at your feet, done. You're done.
Yeah, then that's it.
Constant by Maverick City Music is also good. Top two right there. Constant, God, I'm Just Grateful is also good too. There is not a bad worship song, let me just say. There is not one that doesn't hit.
Especially not before what happened in Chicago.
There's no way I could have listened to a bad song before Chicago. Like, there's no way. I don't doubt that.
All right, here we go. What happened during your first run through?
Oh man, like my first race.
Yeah. First
man, oh man, let me tell you.
More than 2.
Yeah, because there was like 5 of them. So first race, I'm in lane 5. I think in heat 7, if I do recall. I might have to go back on my Instagram and double check.
Yeah, I think it is 5 heat 7.
Heat 7, lane 5. Last heat of the day. Well, of the prelims. Last heat of the prelims. Lane 5, not the best lane. Lane 4 is the best lane. She was a GOAT. She was literally ranked first in the whole meet. So I was like, bow to you. Like, you're the GOAT. Like, it's fine.
I'm next to you.
I'm just going to run my race. It's fine. And so the pole vault, mind you, the pole vault is literally right next to the blocks. And so the pole vaulters are doing their run throughs and the poles are falling left and right. And I'm like thinking in my head, I feel like I'm getting a little, like, I don't know if it's irony, foreshadowing, but I'm like, don't they usually pause everything that's going on in the meet when a race is about to start? usually, right? Usually everyone say, usually they stop. Okay, whatever. So I'm like, it's fine. Maybe the pole vaulters will know to have common courtesy to stop warming up when we're in the blocks, right? Right. Or so I thought. So I'm getting my blocks. I'm like, all right, I have pretty good odds here. Top 8 are going to finals. I have a pretty good time. We're chilling. And so I get in my blocks, do my run through, go over 2 hurdles, and Roy's like, I see him over by like the long jump pits. He's like, good job, Kacie, like, let's go. Ian behind me, he like was at shot put and he like flapped up, like there was like a poster. He like flapped up the poster and he has this like whistle thing he does. And I just like know what it sounds like. So like if he needs to get my attention from far away, he'll like do the whistle and I'll look around. It's like my bat signal. Like he'll do the whistle. And I'm just like, where is it? And so I like hear him whistle and I look behind me and he's like, let's go, like show him what you got. And I'm like, Ian, my dog, like right there. That's my best friend. And so I have my coaches cheering me on. Runners, take your mark. Breaking the sweat now. I'm like, all right, don't fall. That's all I'm thinking. Don't fall. That's all I think about during my hurdle races is just don't fall. The lady says set. And like, I'm kind of counting in my head just a little bit. And I'm not even done counting, but I was so focused on counting in my head that when I heard a noise, I just went. And so the pole, I don't even know if it was the bar or if it was just the pole like hits the ground. It wasn't a little like nick, it hits the ground and I get out of the blocks because I thought that was the pole. And I start running and I realized, wait, that wasn't the gun. And so I'm like, shoot, I just false started. And so I turn around and walk back to the blocks. And usually sometimes, depending on what meet you're at, they'll give you a second chance. Because I've been at like conference and sections where sometimes like, not me, I've never false started before besides that moment right there. But like there's been girls who have false started or guys who have false started in a race and they're given a second chance. They're just like, here's your warning, don't do it again. And so I'm like, all right, maybe hopefully I get a second chance. If I don't, I'm going to try and argue that the pole vault made a sound because it did. And so the lady comes up to me and she goes, you're disqualified. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's literally what I said. I go, are you serious? And she goes, yeah, unfortunately, because you're 18, you're not in the right age group for us to give you a second chance. And I'm like, there's an age group? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was real. And I go, are you sure? Like, the pole vault fell. That's what I reacted to. And she was like, nope, unfortunately, you're disqualified. Please leave the track. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And so I'm holding myself together when I'm walking off the track. And immediately as I start walking away, I just hear yelling. Like, I don't know who, I can't even focus on who's yelling right now, but people just start yelling. And so I'm walking away and I walk past, like, there's like the main crowd and then like the kind of like little mini crowd on the bleachers. And so I'm walking past them and I'm like trying not to cry, keeping my composure. I grab my spikes and all my stuff, but I have to go long jump. Like, I have to go long jump now because the long jump started right as my hurdle race started. Like, it's had the same start time. And so I'm like, all right, Rick, I have to go long jump now, like right away. And so I go pick up my stuff. I find a corner and I just start bawling. And so I'm crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, panic attack, hyperventilating. I can't stop. It's horrible. And Coach Imaker finds me along with Coach Ren. They find me at like the same time. And Imaker like runs up to me and he's like, Kacie, like, you're okay. And he holds my head up. He's like, you're okay. Like, you're going to get a second chance. Like, put your spikes back on. Like, you're going to be okay. And I'm like crying. I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like, I didn't mean to false start. Like, I didn't mean to start. And then Ren like runs over because Ren's there too. Ren runs over and he was like, Kacie, like, you're okay. Like, just catch your breathing. Like, you're going to be okay. And there's just so much going on. And I'm just like crying and crying. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to false start. Roy's going to be so mad at me. And they're both just like, no, they're not. He's not mad at you. I swear. Don't say that. And finally, like, I calm down. I control my breathing a little bit because they're telling me like what's going to happen. They're like, you're going to go run by yourself. And if you happen to qualify for finals, you're going to run by yourself again. And I'm like, I'm trying to do my box breathing that I did before.
Your box breathing there. Yeah.
4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. I'm like, I got this. Like, come on, Kacie, get it together. And then Roy comes over and I'm like, all right, Kacie, lock in right here. This is head coach Roy. Okay. And so he comes up to me and he was like, all right, Kacie, come over here. He takes me away from Immaker and Ren and he sits me down on the bleacher and he like takes my hands and he's like, you're okay. Like, you're okay. Like, you know who you are. Like, he's just like giving me a hype situation. He was like, you're going to run this race and you're going to go to finals and you're going to PR and you're going to qualify for nationals, like yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, whoo, I'm like, all right, let's freaking go. And he was like, you have a little bit, like you have time before your race. So let's go get a couple long jumps in. And so I'm like, all right, sounds good. Put my long jump spikes on, go over, get a couple long jumps in. Long jump goes kind of mid. That's fine. I had a lot of emotions.
Yeah, but it's also it also kind of distracts you from it too, I feel like.
Right.
Is it?
Right. No, yeah, for sure. So I like went to long jump and my calf started bothering me a little bit because I had pulled it the night before. So I did 2 of my long jumps and I was like, yeah, let's just like scratch the last 2. I don't want to injure myself further. I want to lock in for my hurdle race and high jump later because those are like my 2 like main, like more like my more main events. And so I did 2 long jumps, went back, got like a quick snack, did a little reset, did some prayer. And I like opened up my phone on like my Bible app and was just like quickly like scrolling through my Bible and just like praying a little bit and whatnot. And then I'm a little confused because I don't really know exactly what's happening. I'm like, I don't know when I really run. Like, do I run at a certain time? Do I run before or after a race? And so like I quickly like went over with
okay, before we go there, first of all, what did you like? What were the prayers like? Like, how do you even bring that to God in that moment?
I'm wondering. It was crazy. I think I literally just remember like I went like back to team camp and I just like sat down with my stuff and I didn't even like open a specific verse. I just opened the Bible app. Like I just opened the app. I didn't go to a specific chapter or a specific book, or I just literally just opened the app as if I just had like taken my Bible and just opened it. That was like I remember literally just holding my phone like this as if it was like a real Bible. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just like this with my phone. So I just sit there, I open the Bible and I'm just like, I'm just like, God, like, just like, give me a peace of mind right now. Like, that's literally all I need. Like is a peace of mind. Like any anxiety or any sort of doubt that I have right now, like, Lord, I just surrender it to you right now because there's a lot of that going on. Like there is like, and sometimes people like don't want to like admit it. Like, yeah, like I'm really scared. Like, I'm just like, nope, God, I'm scared. I'm pooping my pants. I just give it to you. Like, I just need you, whatever. So like, I think the word peace of mind was repeated 10 trillion times during that moment. And so I did my little prayer. I was like, okay, like, Lord, just give me peace of mind. Any doubt or like worry that I have right now, like I just cast it to you. Like, you've given me these abilities for a reason. Like, you're putting me in this like faith, like you're giving me this adversity for a reason so that I can just walk through it. Like, to not be like with you, I should not be afraid. Like, feel like in the Lord's Prayer, like it says, we will fear no evil. Like, I do not, like I should have no fear right now. Like, there is literally nothing to be scared of. Like, I got this. I need to lock in. And so like, that was just like what I was going through. Like, I remember I was like, when I was like when Ren and Immaker found me crying, Ren, he was like, can I pray over you? And he had prayed over me, and honestly, like, loved that he prayed over me, but I was just so focused on like trying to catch my breathing that I could really remember what he said. But I genuinely do believe like whatever he said also helped, because just like the thought of like having someone who like just is like willing to pray for you so openly means a lot. So like when someone asks anytime like, oh, can I pray for you? I'm always like, heck yeah, get the hand on my shoulder. I love when people pray for me. Like, it's the best thing ever. And I also love praying for other people. Like, I also just love like can I pray for you? Hand on the shoulder. I'm just like, dear Jesus, like whatever. Like that just means a lot. That's like, it's like a love language almost. It's like praying for people.
It is a love language. It is the most pure love language of all ever.
Add that to the love languages, guys, is prayer.
It is the love language because you can do it to anybody at any time. No, I don't think you realize like how inspiring that is to like the next group of people. You just went through one of the most stressful experiences of your entire life.
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge meet. You traveled 354 miles away to run it in Chicago.
Yeah.
At this meet, we had a huge while qualifying for nationals is on the line right now. Like there could be like you've never qualified for nationals before. That could be something that's a possibility for you later in the meet. And what did you do after you got unfairly disqualified? You let it out. You admit how you felt.
Right.
You surrounded yourself with community. You prayed. You read your Bible, and you just gave it up to God. And it's like that's what you do in that moment. And I think God really used like that whole experience, which we haven't finished yet, just to really, we're like 30% done, to really show just what you do in that situation, how you respond. So now when you're pulling up to St. Thomas and you're in this, you're four events into your pent, and it's like, I want to not do this one anymore. It's like, now you know what to do, And I think it's so cool. This is such an opportunity for you to like spread that message and spread that process to other people. And, for me as someone who puts myself in a very high pressure situation, it's like, it's cool for me to hear that too. And it's cool for other athletes to know about it as well.
Right.
So yeah, what happened after let's put the context in. You're by yourself.
Right.
In a hurdle race. So let's resume.
We ended up, my coach Roy and I, we ended up like finding like the meet director, and we just like clarified when I was running, how it was going to work, yada, yada, yada. And so right before the girls finals, I was going to run. So I was going to run my prelims. And if I qualified for finals, like if my time reached within the top 8 that qualified, then the girls would run their finals, and then I would run finals by myself right after the girls ran their finals. And so I was like, okay, I know I'm running back to back. So I really need to make this first race count because I'm going to be tired for my second one if I end up running my second one. And so I re-warm up. I do the same thing that I did before. I did like my glute activation, my hammy activation, did my hurdle mobility and all this stuff. And I go up to like check in, and I'm like, hey, like I'm checking in, like I'm rerunning my hurdle race all by myself. Do I need a hip number? And the poor lady was like, I didn't even know this was a thing. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, what? Like now I'm scared. Like, am I rerunning my race or what? And so I go up to like the girl who's like walking people back and forth from like the where you get your hip number to the track. Like she's walking people back and forth, and I walk up to her. I'm like, hey, like, do you know of this? And she was like, oh yeah, like someone told me about that. Like you can come with me. And so she takes me over. I see the girls who are about to run their finals, and I'm just like, let me just like they're already lined up, and I'm like, let me just like budge you guys because I have to run before you guys. And so I come in, and they put me. I was like, they didn't give me a hip number. I'm literally like YOLOing this race. Like I have no idea what's happening, and so I don't even remember. Like, I don't even think I did like a full like hurdle run through. I think I just sat in my lane and just like prayed. Like I didn't even do a run through. I was just like, God, again, peace of mind. Don't let me false start again. Don't let me fall. Just let me cross the finish line is all I ask. I just want to cross the finish line. And so they put me, I initially thought I was going to be like in lane 5, which was the lane that I was in last time, but they put me in lane 4 for whatever reason. I was like, sure, I don't really care, but whatever. They are announcing the wrong name, mind you. They're announcing the wrong name on the speaker. And I'm like, all right, so this girl's getting credit for my race. Like, okay, like I guess. And so she goes, runners, take your mark. And I'm getting into my box, and the pole vault pole falls again. And I literally I'm down. And I look up, and there's a video. I look up and I look over at the pole vault, and I'm like, are we serious? I am not about to do this again. And
but
so
you looked that time though. You did.
I'm like, God, please let the pole vaults be silenced. And so I put my head down, runners take your mark, gun goes off, and I'm just like, I'm booking it. And in my race, I literally remember, I'm like, dang, I'm going a little fast here. Like I'm running, I'm like, dang, I'm kind of smoking. And so I run, I cross the finish line, and I immediately I run up because it's like the bank track. So I run up and I immediately come back down. My eyes are glued to the screen, 9.01. And I literally am just like, crazy, and I hear Roy from behind me. He's just screaming. I just hear him yelling. He's like, Kacie, run! So I turn around and give him the biggest hug ever. He was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And then Sammy comes over too. One of my good friends, Sammy, who's on my high school track team. She runs over and gives me the biggest hug ever. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so I'm celebrating with Roy and I'm celebrating with Sammy. And then the official comes up. He was like, all right, you qualified. You got to go run again. And I'm like, are you old? I'm gasping. I'm gasping for air right now. Not just because I just ran a 60 hurdle race, but because I'm so excited. I have so much adrenaline and I'm just out of breath. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I literally run back over to the starting line, budge the guys finals, hurdle finals, budge them. And I'm like, hey, sorry guys, I have to run again. So let me just budge you guys. And so in that moment, during my finals race, like I said before, I'm sitting there, I'm just honestly, as long as I cross the finish line, I know I probably will not run a better time because I am so out of breath. I am tired. This is back to back. So I'm giving myself grace. As long as I don't run a lifetime worse, I guess, I'll be happy. And so I run my finals race. I ran a 9.3. So I was like, all right, that's what I was running before. But with being tired, that's pretty good. With being absolutely gassed.
Mental stress that you had to go through before.
Right. And so I'm like, this time is A-okay. And I remember I come back around and I go buy my spikes, and Ian comes up and he runs up to me and he gives me the biggest hug. He picks me up and he puts me down. He was like, oh, I'm so proud of you. That was so cool. Inside joke, I taught him the word mog, and so he just uses that word in every single sentence now. And he was like, you just mogged that race. I was like, I know, let's freaking go. I mogged so hard. And he was like, oh my gosh, I've never been that nervous for an athlete ever in my life. And I was like, yeah, I think the whole stadium was nervous for me because I don't think that has ever happened before to anybody. And so that race, that whole experience, when I went back to camp, I had a bunch of people celebrating me and just being like, congratulations, we're so proud of you. And then later, Roy posting that big story about me, it just meant so much to me. And just seeing the community and the support that I have, not only from my coaches, but from my teammates and a bunch of the girls, when I posted my Instagram, everyone was reposting and commenting on it, being like, you're so cool, you're awesome. Just being I didn't think people were gonna care that much. I didn't know this was I know
that's
it was
why
a big deal.
Here.
I knew it was a big deal, but it was it just meant so much to me. And so I'm just dude, this is sick. This is so awesome. And so that carried into my high jump, because I still had to high jump later that day. And I was like, all right, my calf is bugging the crap out of me. The adrenaline from my hurdles wore off. My calf is in immense pain. But I ended up tying my PR, technically PRing by a quarter of an inch. My PR was 5 foot and I jumped 5 foot 0.025 inches. So I PR'd by a quarter of an inch. So it carried into my high jump. I was in such a good mood. High jump went well, and then we drove home. Van ride was fun. I got to be in the passenger seat, luckily. Did carpool karaoke the whole way home with Ian. It was great. They had so much fun. Chicago was literally, I will always say this, Chicago is literally a dream. It didn't feel real. It was just I don't even know. It felt just not real is all I could say.
I don't think
there's no way that happened to me.
I don't think that actually happened. I think in both of our respective
what do you
respective
mean I
careers,
ran a race by myself and PR'd by 0.3 seconds? That's not a thing.
You ran your race by yourself. I met the 800 national champion twice. I met two of them. I hung out with high schoolers for a weekend.
We went shopping.
We got Brandy Mel. I got the hat here.
Yes,
I wear it all around at campus now. We went to Brandy Melville too. It's the store that every cool high school, college guy goes to, obviously. No, I'm the only person that I know that's a guy that was gone there, but that's another story.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
but we'll hopefully change that. Also, side point, I was involved in like a 20v1 debate in my advertising class because I kind of just like mentioned passively that I went to Brandy in Chicago, and I was like,
Right.
oh, they were super nice. Anyways, I was in a 20v1 debate because apparently the Chicago people are very nice. I'm like, oh, I guess they cleaned up their act because they were very nice when I met them.
Yeah, I had a great experience, so
It was great.
I have no negative.
What are some other fun Chicago memories that you had besides running?
Ian is my multi-coach. I didn't really know him. I like the first ever practice at Bethel. He hung out with Sammy a lot because he was like high jumping and I was with Roy hurdling. And so Chicago was like kind of like the first time where I like actually like had like one-on-one conversation with him, all this stuff. And that's when like we really like bonded, not only as like coach and athlete, but as like genuine like friends. Like I like hung out with him like almost the whole time. Like when we were going out, when walking around in Chicago, like at the Bean, I was his signature like passenger, like whenever we were driving around, like because he was like, he was like, not to call anyone out, but when he was like, if anyone else was in this passenger seat right now, I think I would go crazy. And I was just like, well, I'm just a yapper. But unfortunately, on the way to Chicago, the drive there, I had a horrible migraine and I was just like suffering in the passenger seat. And he was like, Kacie, I was so nervous you were gonna throw up. I was like, no, I don't throw up when I
no throwing up.
But we did like carpool karaoke on like the way home. We like blasted because we didn't have a speaker, we didn't have aux, like we had nothing in our van, and so we just blasted the radio and bonded on carpool karaoke because I told him, I was like, Ian, like I actually sing, like I do national anthems, like I did worship team stuff, like I actually have I'm not playing when I say I have a good voice, so like I actually sing. And he was like, oh seriously, like let's do some carpool karaoke. Did some carpool karaoke, and he was like, dang, like I thought you were going to suck. I was like, okay, thanks for having faith in me. The highlight was definitely bonding with my coach, because I think if you don't have a decent relationship with your coach, like I feel like it makes it less fun. You know what I mean? Like being able to like,
yeah, which by the way, the TopSelf coaches are exceptional at, I will say, every coach, everyone, Emiker, Ren, Coach Roy, yes, Ian,
all of them.
Grace, so everybody. They're all so good at, those one-on-one.
10 out of 10.
I got to think, I got to learn thing or two to learn from them, because they just know how to like really bond with people and just encourage them. It's awesome. Yeah.
No, yeah, that was definitely a highlight, was bonding with Ian. And then the car ride home in general was pretty funny, because my friend Israel Butler, he was in the back. And this guy fell asleep on him, and he like was leaning on Izzy, and Izzy literally had to lean forward being tired at car ride because the guy fell in the crack behind him and fell asleep.
Oh nah.
And so the whole car ride he was just sitting like this, leaning forward, and I look back and I couldn't stop laughing. Mind you, I would like to say that I stayed awake for the whole 7 hours to and from Chicago, except on the way home. I fell asleep for the last like 45 minutes, but like I basically stayed awake the whole time.
Well, you didn't drive though. I drove like 2 hours in the middle of Wisconsin at 1 a.m. So
oh my gosh, no.
That was fun. I don't know, a little adrenaline. I was like, all right, we're driving Addie, Claire, flipping Connie, and Parker.
Oh my god!
Across the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and because he was dozing off, and like I'm like, yeah, that's not you shouldn't drive if you're gonna fall asleep. So I'm like,
right,
all right, I'll drive. So I took him all the way back, and then it's some behind the scenes stuff. But I actually, because there's the vans, right?
Right.
I actually had to drive to the airport to pick all the coaches up after they dropped the vans at 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh, no.
So yeah, it was awesome. Not to make it about me, but yeah. Yeah. Awesome. What is like the big takeaway that you learned from Chicago at the whole experience?
Just like even like just like in the face of adversity, because I know Roy made like a post about like focusing on adversity and like going through hardships. just like in the face of adversity, like just putting your trust in God and like letting him take the wheel, like genuinely, like letting just casting all your worries and all like your anxiety and doubts that you might have. Like I know like Chicago was a meet for a lot of people coming back from an injury, like, and they were running for the first time. And so I'm sure like those kids were nervous too, but they ended up running really good times, like even some like national qualifying marks, like, I think Connie like qualified for nationals coming back, and I think Parker might have done that as well. And I know AR Austin, he ran coming back from an injury,
Yeah.
like just in the face of adversity, just like again casting your worries onto God and just doing what you know how to do best. You know what I mean? And so that was definitely my number one takeaway.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now we're today. But recently, like Chicago wasn't the only like thing that the only barrier you broke. You also
Right.
ran your first pentathlon at
Oh,
Mark Shuck. So first of all, like who are some people that do multi that you really look up to?
not to keep bringing up Coach Ian, but Coach Ian for sure is one of them.
Yeah, no brainer.
Being able to connect with him like one-on-one about like not just like performing the multi, but like the mentality of the multi. Because I think what I definitely struggled with at Mark Shuck, given the circumstances, like not to get too deep into it, like, but like the weekend before Mark Shuck, like me and my boyfriend had broken up, and I was going through it. And so I just tried to like cast that aside and try to lock in for this Mark Shuck meet. And so I think the biggest thing that I struggled with was the mental part, because I didn't know. I was like, I have a good mental, like I can lock in and I can just let things go, like just like that. Like it'll be easy peasy. Guys, it was not easy peasy. It's like obviously looking up to Ian, he has very good advice when it comes to like staying in a good mental and all that. Really famous people like Anna Hall, like obviously gotta look up to her, Miss Olympic champ, breaking 7K in the head. That's freaking insane. Katie Idem is also a good one. She does the USA, like she just performed in the USATF Indoor Championships. That was sick. But yeah, those are like my top three.
Yeah.
Top three people I look up to for the multi.
So it was interesting because like it was kind of a slow burn with just trying out the different events. Like you start sprinting, you start hurling, then you start trying out long jump, then you do shot put, then you do high jump, and like kind of sporadically. Is there a point in your career that you first thought like doing multi is genuinely like a possibility?
I did hurdle. So like throughout my high school career, besides TopSelf, I always did hurdles. Like 7th to senior year, hurdles was like my number one. And then I like went back and forth on like almost like literally all the field events in the multi: long jump, high jump, and shot put. Not javelin because we don't do that in Minnesota. But like middle school, I did long jump, and then like my freshman year, I didn't really do a field event. I just kind of like sprouted through all of them. But like sophomore year, I really locked in on shot put and performed really well at sections that year. And then my junior year, I switched over to high jump and not so much shot put. And now this year, I think I plan on doing both, because I think I've gotten pretty good at both high jump and shot put. I'll kind of let long jump to the side. I'm still kind of working on that. But I think for sure, like my sophomore kind of junior year, kind of transitioning in between those, because like when you're junior year track, you're kind of thinking about college already. And I had a bunch of coaches being like, yeah, like you could really do well in the multi. And so when it came to like finding colleges, like I told college coaches, like, I want to be a multi. And a lot of people don't really like go and get scouted, like say, yeah, I want to be a multi. They usually go in either being like a jumper or just like a hurdler. Like you don't really scout an 800 specialist to be a multi, you know what I mean? You don't really scout a thrower to specifically be a multi. Like you usually, I've been told, are scouting like hurdlers and jumpers are usually who become multis. But for me, I was like, nope, like I know that I will compete well in the multi. Like I know that's what I am. And so definitely junior year, like I'm definitely like 100% new. Sophomore year, like I thought about it, but my junior year, I was like, yep, like this is where I want to be. I know TopSelf is what I'm going to strive for. Like, I'm going to train for the multi. Like, I know, like, that's my goal. And then obviously now my senior year, I'm like, I actually am in TopSelf doing what I thought I was going to do, like doing what I told myself I was going to do. And so, and hopefully I'm going to do some heptathlons, like summer meets with Ian.
Yep.
Getting some heps under my belt. So, yeah.
It's going to be so much fun to follow you guys and see how that goes. So interesting. So it's very interesting because when you went to Shock, you went there a day earlier than everybody else because you had, I don't remember what the events were, but how do you like stay motivated? Because this is going to be a thing you have to deal with if you do, when you do multi, where it's like, you're not going to have like these big crowds for the entire time. You're not going to have all your friends at the place at the same time, right? Especially for those early events with that, set the tone for later stuff. So how do you kind of stay motivated when you don't have that crowd?
Definitely. I was also definitely nervous about that. I was scared, like, oh my gosh, like it's going to be me and Ian. That's it. We're driving an hour to Mankato and it's just going to be us. Like, this was also the meet where I was like, my top 2 schools are here for college. I have St. Thomas and Cato here. I'm nervous. I have to perform well. And something that really comforted me and kind of like led me to make my college decision was like the community of like the girls, like all of the St. Thomas girls, like took me in under their wing and just like treated me as if I was already a part of their team. And they were just talking to me the whole time, like cheering me on, like telling me, good job. Like, you got this, like, good job on your hurdle race. Like, oh, like we really like just stuff like that. And then obviously like Ian is a great cheerleader. He's a great coach, and just like making sure like he knows that like, I'm proud of you, yada, 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 and all this stuff. But I was luckily, like, I'm a part of a good team where like people that like a lot of the teammates knew that I was at Shuck, and they were texting me and being like, hey, like, how's the meet going? Like, we like wish you luck, like, good luck, like, we hope you're doing well, like, let us know how it's going, stuff like that. And so just like reminding myself that like, yes, it was hard because I'm in high school, and so I didn't really have like a team to compete in the multi with because I was the only multi. But it was definitely comforting because it wasn't even just the St. Thomas girls. Like, there was girls from Sioux Falls and there was girls from Marquette that were like talking to me.
This is a college meet, by the way,
and whatnot.
I should clarify that. It's a college meet. It's D2, D3, D1 actually.
Like, yeah,
St. Thomas.
So there, St. Thomas, Marquette.
People,
And so it was,
and you're a high schooler, so keep going.
No, you're good. It was just comforting how like, no matter like what division they were, like they were all very welcoming, and they just like made really great conversation. Like, oh my gosh, like, you're only a senior, like, this is so cool. Like, we're so glad that you're getting this opportunity to be here. Like, yada, 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 things like that. And even Ian noticed it, and he was like, this just shows you how like laid back everyone is. Like, everyone is just here to have fun. Like, obviously we want good marks for nationals and stuff like that, but like in the end, like, they all want the same thing. They all just want to have fun, compete in 5 events in one day, just totally YOLO the day, and then just have that success in the end, knowing you completed it and you're done and stuff like that. The community definitely made it a lot easier on myself, and then having just again like a great coach made it pretty easy.
How do you, because you mentioned kind of the nerves you felt during that, and I'd say it's one thing to like have to prime yourself to do one race and do like a hurdle or a jump, or it's like, but here you're priming yourself, you're going up and down and up and down and up and down. So how do you kind of put yourself through that nerve cycle when you're doing like a long comp?
Right. I definitely knew that I kind of just like, because we kind of made plans ahead of time. Like, this is like kind of like the general area we want to be. We don't want to make the goal too small. Like, we don't want to just be like, yeah, let's hit 3,200 right off the bat. Or like, let's just hit 3,000 right off the bat. We kind of were like, if we're at least in like the 2,500 to 300, like the 3,000 range, we're in a good spot. If we're somewhere in between. So we made the goal really big. We made it attainable. We made it realistic. So I wasn't hard on myself with whatever outcome I got. And so going in, I was like, okay, as long as I'm somewhere in between this range, I'm set. So hurdle race went ran like a 9-1. I think I ran a 9:11, and so I think I placed like fourth or third out of all the girls or something like that. And so I was like, yep, hurdles is my specialty. This is great. Whatever. High jump went okay. And so I think high jump, I was a little disappointed with, and I kind of let that get to me a little bit. I jumped like 4.9, I think. And my PR obviously is 5 foot. And so I was like, all right, this is a little bit of a Debbie Downer, losing a couple points here, but trying to go on with the mindset of just like moving on, getting over it, right? Ian gave me a little pep talk. He's like, all right, high jump is over. We forget about it. We're going to shot put. Went to shot put, and that's kind of where everything just went downhill. I was like the day before my pre-meet at Bethel, we did a pre-meet. I was throwing like consistently above 30. Like I was throwing like 33s, 34s at practice. I was like, this is great. Shot put's going to go so great tomorrow. Let's freaking go. Get to shot put, and I can't crack 30. And so I'm just like, bro, like this sucks. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I'm trying to keep my chest up. I'm trying to make sure I'm flicking my wrist, like making sure my launch angle is good. But for some reason, I just couldn't crack 30. With the 4 attempts that I had, ended up getting like 29 something. And I was like, all right, this was the punch. This was the punch to the gut. And then going into long jump, knowing that this was probably, I have my 2 weakest events last. So this is not good. And so I'm trying to let it go, but I just have this like thing nagging at me like, oh gosh, I have the long jump, whatever. I do my long jump run throughs and I'm on the board. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go. I'm on the board. I haven't been on the board like at all in my run throughs for whatever reason, but I'm on the board. Let's go. Do my run throughs. Then I get to my jumps, and for whatever reason, I'm not hitting the board anymore. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. And so I'm jumping like 15s, not that good. And I'm like, how? I'm 5'9", pretty built, pretty fast. How is this 5'2" girl jumping 15 feet further than me? Not 15 feet further than me. How is this girl jumping 17 feet? And I'm not. So I was getting a little bit in my head, like comparing myself to other people, being like, I just look better than her. Like, why is she doing better than me? Like, I should be doing well. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, I ran a better hurdle race than her by 0.5. How is she like, how is she, was she doing better than me? And so,
but then when you fall in the comparison trap, though, that's when it gets kind of hard.
Right. And so I definitely, long jump ended. And I was like, all right, bad mindset. And Ian knew. Ian was like, dang, like, this isn't good. Like, I know that she's in a bad mental right now. And he was
like, let's go, like, snap out of it. Like, you're fine. But just being like, hey, like, it's just an 800. That's all we have left. Like, you can do this. You know what I mean? And so I'm absolutely dreading this 800, mind you. I'm like, all right, I need to trust my training. The goal is under 3 minutes. Our workout plan, or our 800 plan, let's say, was my first lap to be at.
So my 800 plan was like consistent, like 43 to 45 second range for laps, like 1, 2, and 3, and then just try to book the last lap. And so, because that's like what our workouts had been, like I would run a 600 or like 4 or like, I don't know, like 3 slow 200s with like a really short rest in between, and then just book a 200 to work on like kicking it. First 3 laps. I get out the first lap and I'm at a 36. I set myself up for failure. And like with my anxiety and knowing like, shoot, I came out way too fast. I'm getting gassed. I'm already gassed lap 2. And so like with my anxiety coming into like, I'm like, I can't catch my breath. I'm like, shoot, I'm falling behind by 500 meters. I gave up. I can't even lie to you. Like I just gave up. And so I think Ian told me, he was like, you came out at 37 and then you were at like 42 and then you were at like 50. And then your last lap was like a minute or something along the lines of that. And so I ended up running like a 3 minute, 19 second 800. And I remember I crossed the finish line. Ian's there. He like I hunch over and I like grab his arms and I just start bawling. And it was just like, I'm so disappointed in myself. Like, I'm so like, and I'm just like hard on myself in general. Like a lot of people are.
A lot of athletes are, yeah.
And with all of like the emotions and what I had been going through throughout the week with like breaking up with my boyfriend and getting out of a relationship and all this stuff, I had just, it was a long overdue cry that I needed to let out. And so across the finish line, I just start bawling and Ian's like, it's okay, Kacie, like just walk it off. I'm like wobbling all over the place. Like I'm like panic attack crying like I was in Chicago. And I literally, I can't even lie. Like, I think I almost passed out. Like there was a point where like, I like stopped walking, looked down and was like wobbling and Ian had to like hold, kind of like shadow my back to make sure I didn't fall over. And so we like 800 was done and people are like leaving and I'm just like walking laps and I like kind of hold myself together, get going. And I'm like, all right, like Ian, I think I'm ready to leave. Like we've spent enough time here. I think I'm ready to go. And I ended up scoring like a 2,600 or something like that, which it was like, it was in the range, but I definitely could have done better. Like there's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
And so I think it was funny because Ian like made a joke that night and he was like, Kacie, you know what? That 800 might have been super bad because it was. And I was like, yep, I know it was bad. Like, we're just going to be blunt with it. He was like, even though that 800 was super bad, tomorrow we're going to be laughing about it. And I was like, yeah, right. Sensitive subject. Next day we come back and we were already joking about my 800.
We're laughing about it. Yep.
We're laughing about it now too. So it's like, it doesn't even matter. Like whatever.
No, that's good that you're able to do that.
Right. And so I think
also like,
sorry.
No.
I think my biggest takeaway from like just that whole thing is like, not even a takeaway, but like a lesson that I learned, like, or something that I know that I can improve on now. It's not only my 800 endurance, that's obvious, but the whole like mentality side of things. Like Ian has been like sending me a bunch of like Instagram reels on like, this is how our mentality should be. In the multi, like you can like, here's something that you can work on, or like if there's anything that like you need me to do for you during the multi, like let me know and I can like do that for you or stuff like that. And so definitely just like the whole mental side of it, like really just like letting loose, letting it go. Like honestly, like what I did with in Chicago, just like letting it loose, letting that disqualification go, like just giving it to God. Let me do that in the multi, but times 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, times 5. Yeah,
it's like letting it go. Like it
also like Kacie, that's your first multi,
right?
So like you can't be hard on yourself when it's like
I was super hard.
Be lenient. So. Like you don't know what's gonna happen when you do 5 events, and you can train all you want, but being in the race situation, it's like, oh wow, this is probably gonna go.
Right. Luckily.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it's like it's cool. I mean, it's awesome just to try new things and just to, because the only way you're going to learn is to mess up and to fail. And it's the same mentality that people like Ellie Verda, who won nationals last year in the 800 that I had on yesterday. She was just like, I go into every race not worrying about like the time as much as other people. I'm just curious. I'm like, what can I do today? Like, what can I accomplish today? And sometimes it's only a 316, but that's fine. We can, learn, see what we did wrong, go from there, learn. And it's like, that's all it really is. And there's really no reason to be so hard on yourself. And I'm going to preach it to myself here, but like, it's definitely something that a lot of people who have like huge goals and huge, dreams can really fall into. And I think, and I think surrendering up to God really helps with that too. And just being prayerful and surrounding yourself with community. It's the same stuff as anything else. It's just different context. Sure. And in that realm, like, what are some things that you really want to work on spiritually that you want to grow in coming into like this track season and just honestly transitioning to college?
Mm-hmm. I think something for sure is that like doing more like pre-meet, like rituals that involve other people. Cause like I obviously have pre-meet rituals like with myself, like making sure I eat a good breakfast, making sure I pray, making sure I get a good night's sleep, like stuff like that. But like trying to include other people in those rituals I feel like would also just benefit them because like especially like younger people, they might not have like a pre-meet ritual yet. And so trying to like be open and like inviting people into that community, I think would be very comforting, not only for myself, because then I know I have like people to like go to, but then it also benefits them because without like knowing it or not, like it's kind of like opening them to like their like own relationship with God. Because like if I just like,
you're discipling them in a way. Yeah.
Before a race, I'm like, hey, like hurdlers, like, do you guys want to pray like before our races? And they're just like, like, sure. Yeah. Like, let's do it. And I like, obviously like, I'll take the lead, like I'll pray. But then like, it just like, it's kind of like an eye opener being like, oh, like this, like, she really cares about me. Like, and like, yeah, like I really do care about you. Like, I want to pray for you and stuff like that. And even without like, even if it's like not with my teammates, like just doing it like at sections, like with my heat being like, hey guys, do you want to pray or something like that? Or like at state, hey guys, do you want to pray? Like, let's go. Or like, I don't know, stuff like that. Just being more open about like like including others in rituals that like include God. Like even if it's like, whether it's praying or being like, hey, like, what's your goal? Or like, and then like they tell you your goal and you're like, oh, like I'm praying for you. Like, I hope you reach that. Just like that one comment of being like, hey, like I'm praying for you. Or like, oh, like, yeah, good luck. Stuff like that. Just those small things like can mean a lot to a person. So just being more inclusive in that way. Cause even like, just like one act of kindness can like totally like change a whole person's perspective on like themselves and their sport. And so that's what I want to work on.
Because Kacie, I mean, a lot of people have told you that, I'm sure already, and you're probably sick of it, but like you're a senior now, so people are going to be looking up to you and like the things that you do, it's going to rub off on people. So it's super cool that you're able to, recognize that including others is, a huge thing. It is a huge thing. And just, being super missional and being super encouraging of other people. That's honestly super encouraging to me as well. So thank you for showing
that. Thank you. Aw, thanks.
Yeah. And I really hope it's encouraging to everyone else that's listening today.
Me too.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, and I've also been doing my own little ritual. I low-key like start slapping myself for like making a podcast, which sounds so stupid, but it's like,
no, seriously. Sometimes like that's like slapping yourself before a race, like slapping on your legs.
Exactly.
And, like,
I buy it off of the physics. That's how you calm your body down. Then I like do like little prayer. Then I do like, So it's kind of, I
totally agree.
It's totally awesome. It's totally cool. And I'm totally not ashamed of it. And I hope other podcasts do it as well. It's sick. So at the very end of the episode, I always ask like 4 of the same questions. So the first one is, how do you take care of your mental health outside of running?
Oh, that's a good one. I am a big advocate for like mental health and just making sure like you're checking in with yourself. However, I'm not good at doing it myself. So
preach to yourself here.
I need to do what I'm about to say. So I definitely think that just like I think something that I have been better at is like being in tune with your body. Cause I definitely was at a spot, especially my junior year, that I would be lifting like 3 times a day. Like I would wake up, do morning lifts. I would go like not lift, but I would do go to track practice. And like at the time I also had club volleyball, and then I would go to volleyball practice. And then after volleyball practice, I would go and lift again. And I just was like so focused on improving because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm lifting 3 times, I'm lifting 2 times a day, having 2 different practices. I'm going to get so much better. But in reality, I was like worsening myself because I'm just like totally fatiguing my body. I was totally not like, I was eating normal food. Like I had a normal eating routine, but I wasn't getting like, because I was working out so much, I wasn't getting enough, like I wasn't eating enough like nutrients and having a good enough diet. And so little did I know that was actually like making me worse. And so like, sometimes like less is more. Like something I definitely learned from TopSelf is we only lift 2, maybe 3 times a week, not even like 2 times a week. And I'm doing great. And I don't let myself like lift too much outside of that because I don't need it. I don't want my legs to be tired. I want to always be able to compete at full capacity. And so just overall, like less is more. Don't over push yourself. Just like be mentally in tune with your body, and just if there's any signs or signals like getting like that are telling you that you're tired, like let that be your mental note of, oh, maybe I should take tonight not lift, and maybe do some self-care instead, like go to the hot tub or go to the sauna or like roll out and just do a little bit of like cool down, or like go take an Epsom salt bath. I am a huge advocate for Epsom salt baths. Or luckily my mom is a massage therapist, so like maybe I'm like, all right, maybe I'm gonna have my mom like give me a little recovery massage tonight, or a little bit of cupping therapy. And so sometimes, again, less is more, not over pushing yourself, because that can make you worse. Is working out too much in season can make you worse. Yeah, so don't do that.
Exactly. What's your why? What motivates you to run on the very hard days?
What motivates me? I think honestly, my family. I think I have an older sister, but she is more of a like brains type of person rather than an athlete. So like being like the oldest and being really athletic and having a lot of athletic younger siblings, kind of like wanting to be that role model for my younger siblings, kind of motivates me to always like obviously not over push myself, but push myself to be better, do things on the hard days so that they see like, oh wow, like if my older sister can do it, I definitely like, so can I, you know what I mean? So like I have like my brothers asking me all the time, like, oh, can like you teach me how to weight lift, or can you teach me how to do this? Like, do you want to go outside and play football with me? Like, can you go out and like pitch me up a couple like baseballs? And I'm like, oh yeah, like totally, like let's go, like I'll totally be that for you. Like if you need coaching, like I'll coach you on track, I guess. I mean, I can YOLO on baseball, football, and basketball, but I can try my best. But like more like the mental aspect of it, of like, even like I've seen my little siblings go through injuries, and I have totally been there, and just like being able to comfort them and being able to relate to them, especially being the older sibling, just being like, yeah, I've been where you are, definitely motivates me. So just my little siblings, wanting to be that role model for them, I think really pushes me to be better on the hard days. So yeah.
That's incredible. What advice would you give to runners just starting out?
My advice would be, just honestly, especially, I mean, starting from a young age. So like for me personally, just trying to have fun, because sometimes just having fun and just letting loose will like be that breaking point for you. Like as a 7th grader on varsity, I joined just to have fun. I loved the sport. At the time, I didn't think I was going to be that good. So I just let loose. I was myself. I was my authentic, pure, extroverted, maybe a little awkward 7th grade self, and like look where that got me. Like just, yeah, especially like being young, like it's your first year of track, like there's no reason to be so hard on yourself, even if you're like a junior, if you're joining out your junior year, like, or
even if you're starting when you're 30 years old.
Right. If you're opening up and you're 30 years old at one of these USATF track meets,
you're heading up a 5K. Like, come on now, it's incredible. Like you're giving it your all. Yeah,
thing. Like if so this is inspiring. If this is your first hurdle race, your first 100, your first long jump, like just go out there, do what your coaches tell you to do, and just have some fun. And if it goes bad, you learn from it. You can laugh about it the next day, and then you can be better next time. You know what I mean? And so
exactly.
Yeah.
Incredible. All right, last one. What legacy would you like to leave behind in the Minnesota track community?
Oh, dang. What legacy? I don't know. That's hard. Probably that underdogs can become champions too. I wrote my college essay on something along the lines of that, and it got me into all my colleges. So I just kind of think like, I mean, like, again, keep going like this. It just keeps looping back to me being a 7th grader. Like you might be young and you might still be like improving, but even if like people doubt you or just like say negative things towards you or anything like that, like know your worth. Again, like just go out there, have fun, be your authentic self. And as long as you do that, put your worries aside, trust God, like, and if you like strive to be the best version of yourself, like you will come out on top, and like you will like pursue the dreams that you want and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah. That's my little motto. Underdogs can be champions too.
Romans 8:28, and we all know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose.
Amen.
Like you literally just spat that out. All you got to do God will work it won't be immediate. It won't be comfortable, and
Nope.
it might not
Yep.
be what you like in the
Right.
immediate like thing. But the end goal is always good because
Right.
God is sovereign,
Right.
no matter like what happens. So yeah, no matter where you started, no matter where you end up, no matter whether you're an awkward seventh grader like we both were, or
Right.
or whatever, or if you're a 30-year-old who just stumbled upon the local 5K, it doesn't matter where you start
Right.
because God always works it for your good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
thank you so much for coming on, Kacie.
Wow, that was another absolute heater. What did we learn, though? Well, first of all, Kacie learned very early on that when she was absolutely killing as a seventh grader, running up the varsity bid kids, that growth, in fact, comes with humility and not pride. And similarly, she realized that she couldn't put her sport and make it her identity, and especially not put it above God. She knows that she's rooted in God and what he says about her as a daughter of Christ, and not a flaky, feeble identity of the result that happens in the sport of track and field. Finally, the process of her letting it out, then surrounding herself with people that she loves, her coaches and her team, and then going to the Bible and then going to prayer to recenter herself before her solo prelim and national qualifying mark in Chicago is the absolute gold standard to how to handle any stressful situation in life. And it's super cool that Kacie was able to just master the restart in the moment at the age of 18. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you took something away from our time together. I encourage all of you to share this conversation with a friend who actually learn something from the episode. I'm Nate Unger, and this was Kacie Claessens, Under the Radar. Now, go be the best version of yourself.